Okay, let's get to it. No Field of Dreams tonight. My raging Rutgers rant. Rutgers just can't have nice things. We lose 38-28 to Iowa on blackout night in a game that was a winnable game against a team that was a beatable team. And I'm kind of done with this. We are who we are. We're at best a middling Big Ten team that never gets a big win. And we just can't seem to get over that hump. This was a beatable Iowa team with an offense that was ranked, 100 and something? Yeah, they run the ball pretty well. Maybe I think they were 30th in the country in that category, and they had some success against us tonight. Gronowski had a couple rushing touchdowns. I said in my preview, he's not a running quarterback, but he will scramble, and he did against us, and he avoided some sacks. Gee, what a shock. Got some first downs. Got a couple touchdowns. The defense, once again, 38 points. Actually, 31 points, right? Well, I guess the opening kick. So the opening kickoff, touchdown return. And right away, right from the get-go, we're thinking, oh, man, you got to be kidding me. After, what was it, last week? Maybe we had 8 kicks into the end zone. We could have used one there. Special teams, not so special. We miss a field goal. I had a field goal blocked and inopportune penalties. One that cost us. Every single one of them cost us. And Jai Patel's first miss from 31 yards, he actually made the kicked it through, illegal procedure, misses the 36-yarder. The penalty, late hit on the quarterback, moves the ball up into, 5, 6, 7-yard line. They go on scoring. Iowa scores from there. And then the killer was the defensive holding on the defensive series that actually was pretty good for us. We were getting pressure. We forced Gronowski into an incomplete third down pass, defensive holding. And you knew at that point, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, whatever it was left in the game, that was the turning point. That Iowa was going to go down and they were going to score, and they did. But to make things worse, we get the ball back. There's over 5 minutes left. Okay, let's see what they got. Is this offense really for real? We scored on our first 3 possessions. Crickets the rest of the game except for one score. We got our 400 yards against a pretty good defense, and Coach mentioned that in his post-game press conference. And you know what? I'm tired of the platitudes. Oh, we're going to get back to work. We're going to get better. We're going to fix things, yada, yada. We are who we are. We can't even beat a slightly above average Big Ten team. What's our Big Ten win? And no, we don't count Brady Hoke's, 5-7 Michigan team. What's our big Boston College opening day a couple years ago? What, Washington last year? I have to watch Illinois and Indiana tomorrow. I don't have to watch, but Illinois and Indiana, number 9, number 19, top 20 matchup. With a couple of teams that in a couple of years turn it around and are ranked teams, get to the college football playoff last year. And we struggled to beat Iowa, who struggles on offense. Yeah, good defense. We let them off the hook. We had them on the run in the first half. We were aggressive throwing. I like that. We were running off the passing game. Of course, Iowa makes the adjustments. They come out blitzing. They're putting pressure. Even on the punts in the second half, they were applying pressure. Kind of took Ethan out of his rhythm a little bit. But in the fourth quarter, did make a big pass downfield to Ian, 41 yards. Okay, we're back. We got the rhythm back. By the way, Ian Strong was a force tonight. Eight catches, 150, 60 something yards. KJ Duff, was it 9 catches or 8 catches? KJ Duff had 7 or 8 catches. DT only had 3 catches, but he might have had a 40, 41 yard pass reception in there. Fletcher had a few catches. We didn't run the ball as effectively as we needed to. We averaged in that 3 to 3.5 yard per rush average. Which brings me to, after that defensive holding, and Iowa goes down and scores, we get the ball back. First down, Ethan's late delivering the ball, and Ian's route was a little off. It's 2nd and 10. And of course, we tried to do that little delayed RPO run, up the middle, and of course it gets nothing. What do you think you're going to do in that? You're going to trick them? You were successful being aggressive in the passing game, and whoever, the corner with number 2 that was on Ian Strong couldn't defend him. Just on that drive, that last drive, 5+ minutes left, you're down 31-28. Just feed the ball to Ian and KJ. And if DT breaks open in space, yeah, okay, you got that too. So now, of course, it's 3rd and 8 after that little, delayed RPO handoff to Antoine. 3rd and 8, Ethan goes back. He gets rushed, gets hit. The ball's up in the air. Linebacker makes a play on it. Game over. Knew it was over. Got up, started to walk out, even though there was, I don't know how many minutes left. Even if you held them to a field goal, which you kind of knew wasn't going to happen, they eventually scored the touchdown. Make it 38-28. I'm just so tired of this. It's not even fun anymore. Who cares if we beat Howard or Norfolk or Ohio or Miami of Ohio? Wagner, who cares? Honestly, we shouldn't even, my buddy says this all the time. Said it tonight. Yeah, we shouldn't even be in the Big Ten. We're at best a below average to middling program that despite number 30 recruiting credit, we just never get better. Like 6-6, 7-6, going to a bowl game is big stuff for us. I'm tired of the long walks to the bus and the long drive to Jersey Mike's Arena. Going home miserable because we never get that big win that everybody else seems to get. Vanderbilt beats ranked Alabama last year, and they beat ranked South Carolina this year. Tonight, Oklahoma State loses to, I don't know, who did they lose to? Somebody that was like, I don't even know if they were FBS. Mike Gundy's probably gone, by the way. We never get that win. I'm tired of 2006 Louisville. Tonight, okay, it was a great halftime show. The lights and everything, and the technology, beautiful, great environment. I could do without all the TV giveaways, though. In the lights, they got the Block R. They got the 52, okay, great. And, pandemonium. Please, a 3-point win, last minute, 28-25, almost 20 years ago against a program nobody cares about. Coach keeps said it again tonight, we're going to get to work, we're going to get better, we're going to win. We got to fix it. not going to fix it. You can't execute. Football is simple. It's fundamental. Blocking, tackling, catching, and throwing a ball. And kicking the ball. That's it. We must have had 3 or 4 guys go down tonight. By the way, Coach says CJ's out for the year tonight. He said that at post-game press conference. It's unfortunate. I hope we get CJ to come back for next year. Looked like, first I thought it might have been Kosh Sanders, but it was Moses Walker went down on the play, and then we had another defensive player and one of the offensive linemen. Couldn't quite see the number from section 124. But somehow, towards the end of the night, you just felt that, especially after that defensive holding, that it was going to wind up yet another disappointing night. Is it, the big losses, 81 nothing or whatever to West Virginia or Virginia Tech, or 77 nothing to Penn State? No. I'd settle for being like in the Illinois-Indiana category right about now. And we have better recruiting classes. It's about the execution. We can't execute. Is that a coaching thing? Coach Shiano, who we all love, is he the guy? We are who we are. We never take those leaps. That 10-2 year on the precipice, like in Indiana or Illinois, in the college football playoff. It's not fun anymore. It hasn't been fun in a long time, quite frankly. But just get one decent win. I mean, who was it? Didn't Appalachian State beat Penn State a few years back? I mean, we don't get anything like that. We beat the bad teams, and we'll get a win here and there against the middling teams and then lose to the good teams. I mean, who cares? Beat somebody. Great atmosphere tonight. Got to the game, the yellow lot was filled. That's never the case where the yellow lot is filled. The lines at Jersey Mike's Arena for the buses was the longest I've ever seen. Went all the way back to the back of the yellow lot, longer than for Ohio State a couple of years ago. Terrific atmosphere. Announced 55,000 plus record attendance. And you know what? The announced attendance was kind of close to what it actually was, because it was a filled stadium, maybe up at the very tippy top of the upper deck, was not filled. Good atmosphere. Good light show. Good halftime show. You felt, after that third down stop, 8-9 minutes left in the game, okay. And then it happened. One of the things I said we had to do, we can't play sloppy. We've been pretty good with penalties, but Iowa, as Coach said, doesn't beat themselves. They were number 1, I think, in the number of penalties, and number 2 or 3 in the number of penalty yards. They're not going to beat themselves, and they didn't. But we did. Our penalties came at the worst time. On the missed Jai Patel 36-yard field goal, that was the result of an illegal procedure penalty on a 31-yard attempt that went through the uprights. But no, we had to have an illegal procedure. We lose those points. We had a blocked field goal. Special teams, not so special. Greg Schiano losing his touch. 6 points right there that changes the complexion of the game. But on the penalties, we had another penalty. Roughing the quarterback, late hit out of bounds, gets the ball up to 5-6 yard line. That resulted in a touchdown. And then the defensive holding with 8-9 minutes left in the game. That put the nail in the coffin for any chance that Rutgers had of getting a benchmark win. So what's left on the schedule? For a benchmark, we're not going to be, Oregon's going to run us out of the stadium. We're going to lose at Ohio State. We're going to lose to Penn State. We go to Washington after Minnesota next week. By the way, you better go out there and beat Minnesota. What did they score? 14 points against Cal. Lose to Cal, whatever it was, 27-14. I don't want to see Minnesota getting 400 yards and 30 points. Go out there and beat them. You get to 4-1 going into Washington. Jonah Coleman having a big year. They're a big play offense. We're going out to the West Coast. That's going to be a challenge. We'll be left with Purdue and Maryland as winnable games, although I've said a lot Purdue is much better. And Maryland with Malik Washington, a 4-star freshman quarterback, a mobile guy that can throw it. It's going to give us a problem, so that's not going to be a guaranteed win. At best, we're looking at another 6-6 year. The very definition of mediocrity. And 2 of those 6 wins will come against MAC teams, and the 3rd win against an FCS team. So what are we talking about here? I had worries about Grunowski getting better against us. And in some ways he did. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. Didn't have big passing numbers, but he made enough plays with his legs and made enough plays in the passing game. A killer 40-yard pass completion late. It was a good catch. Receiver laid out for it. His defense isn't any good. We had their moments tonight. And we actually got pressure on several plays. I think we might have had 2 or 3 sacks. I think O'Neal had one. Cam Miller had one. And I've said this before. If we're not dealing with an RPO kind of offense or an offense where the quarterback is really mobile, he's playing schoolyard ball and making plays, we can do well against the traditional run between the tackles, throw it down field kind of offense, and we did. We got pressure at times. Of course, Grunowski was able to. He broke contain a bunch of times and had a few scrambles for first downs, had the 2 touchdowns rushing. But we did okay and got pressure at times, and we missed several times, as we're prone to do. Thought we had some defensive momentum on that last defensive stand where we had a defensive holding. Giving up 30 points a game in the Big Ten, not going to get it done. I don't know what coach is going to fix. I don't know how they're going to get better. It's not a matter of gelling, coming together in chemistry. It's execution. Make the damn play. Don't commit the stupid penalty. You are what your record says you are. We can't beat the big boys. And Iowa isn't even all that daunting, quite frankly. I'm sure if Iowa played Ohio State or Oregon, it wouldn't be a very close game. We don't get that next step, benchmark win. Disappointing. just once you'd like to come away from SHI Stadium with a win against somebody that isn't Wagner, Howard, Ohio, Miami of Ohio, or Norfolk State. And what do you have to pay for seats, the seat contribution, the parking? And this is not something Kelly's in is gonna, it's not about the money. Our recruiting is around number 30. You should be able to win with that. Boise State won with a lot less and got the bowl games and beat good teams like Oklahoma. Just execute. Just execute, baby. Do something. Yet another disappointment. I mean, it's like it's past 1 a.m. It's one thing if it's a win, you're jacked up and you're hyped up. Okay. But when it's just loss after loss after loss. I mean, if we beat Minnesota and we beat Maryland, okay, great. So what? I wouldn't even, you know what? My buddy's right. We probably shouldn't even be in a Big Ten. There should be a Big East football conference. And if we're the big dog in this Big East football conference and there's a lot of less, fine. We can be like Boise. We can be the top dog in a lesser conference, get to a bowl game, and beat some good teams. I mean, we're never going to be a top-tier Big Ten team ever. We're just not. And it's not like we're getting the players. I mean, we're getting the recruits. So it's schemes, game plan, execution. No, it's not culture. You can force culture down people's throat if you can't execute your game plan and learn how to win against good teams. You're not going to be successful. So, no Field of Dreams tonight. It's not heaven. It's Iowa. They beat us 38-28 once again, and our best opportunity with our best offense that it looked like early we had a chance to actually win this. And we go home disappointed once again. I'll have a recap of the game and stats and some other thoughts and insights. And despite a blackout Friday night loss, enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. I'll probably maybe see you on Sunday, hopefully to get something out. And have a good night, morning. It's actually Saturday morning, and we'll talk to you the next time.